usually his view of sex is he puts it on a pedestal because he's not really getting it like that.
Click the link below and get your tickets to the Game Kings 2, The Definition of a Man seminar in Las Vegas, Nevada, Labor Day weekend, September 3rd, featuring Boss Mac Topsoil, Steve the Dean Williams, Mr. 1950, Afi Kingdom, King Dre, and hosted by Miles Cunningham and yours truly, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. So make sure you click the link below to get your tickets today.
Yo, what's poppin'? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. What's good? So in this video, I want to talk about how your view of sex changes the more sex you have, okay? So basically what you got to understand is this, right? Is that guys who don't really get sex that much, their view of sex is way different than guys who get sex all the time. Or guys who can get sex easily, right? Their view is different than guys who have a hard time getting sex, right? So usually what happens is this, right? Is that guys who don't get a lot of sex have sex put on a pedestal in most cases. And guys who do get a lot of sex don't put sex on a pedestal because they get a lot of sex, right? Now, there's always going to be exceptions to what I'm saying, but what I'm talking about is in general, this is basically how it goes, right? So a lot of times when you hear guys on the internet worried about women's body counts, worried about, you know, how much sex a woman is having and all that other stuff, it's because his view of sex is a certain way. And usually his view of sex is he puts it on a pedestal because he's not really getting it like that, right? The guy who gets it like that, his view of sex is different. Now, let me say this. When I say a guy getting sex and a guy not getting sex, I'm talking about strictly desire, not you paying for the shit. I'm not talking about you paying for sex or anything like that. I'm talking about, you know, are you getting sex a lot because women desire you? And are you not getting sex because women don't desire you, right? And so based off that, your view of sex is going to be different based off of the amount of sex you're getting. And see, a lot of guys don't understand this stuff. So you usually hear on the internet, guys, they'll say, oh, I'll never wife up a girl if she's doing this type of sexual act, or, you know, she's for the streets and so forth and so on. That type of rhetoric is usually from guys who don't get sex like that, right? Guys who get a lot of sex from women that desire them don't think that way because their view of sex is different. I'll put it to you this way. Think about if you're poor and you have, let's say, $100. Right? Now, your view of that money of $100 might seem like a lot of money to you because you're poor, right? Like, let's say you make, you know, minimum wage. Let's say after you pay all your bills, you got like maybe $75 to stretch for the week or whatever it is like that. $100 is going to seem like a lot of money because you don't have a lot of money. So your view of money is going to be different, right? Now, let's say you end up, for whatever reason, let's say in the next few years, you start leveling up and then you're making, let's say, $10,000 a week, right? So now your view of $100 is not going to be the same anymore as it was when you were poor. See, because you get more money now, because you have more money, right? Your view of money is different. When you had less money, your view of money was different. So when you had less money, $100 was like a lot of fucking money. And now when you have $10,000 a week that you're making, $100 ain't shit to you. You're like, whatever, that's nothing. You see what I'm saying? So sex is the same way. The sexual energy that you're getting in these situations, right? It's the same thing. See, this is how I can tell a lot of times where a guy's level is at when it comes to sexual interactions, right? I just ask him a question about, you know, sex and dealing with women. And if he's like, oh man, you know, a chick who's doing this sexually, blah, 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 I'm like, yeah, he probably doesn't get sex like that. But a guy who gets sex all the time, a guy who's a player, a guy who can get sex easily, his view is a little bit different. And see, the reason why I wanted to say specifically about desire is because you can have a guy who gets a lot of sex, but he's paying for it. And so his view would be the same as the guy who doesn't get a lot of sex from women that desire him, because the fact that he has to pay for it, right, means that women don't desire him. You see what I'm saying? So I wanted to make that clear about the desire thing, but just in general, understand that your view of sex changes the more sex you get. The more sex you get, the lower on the pedestal you take it off the pedestal. The less sex you get, the higher, you put it on that pedestal. It's really that simple. Now, before you go, click the link below and go to badboymembership.com. Now, badboymembership.com is a place where you go to get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Listen, I know you're tired of being rejected. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of being afraid to approach women. Go to badboymembership.com. I know you're tired of not getting the women that you want. Go to badboymembership.com. Listen, I know you're tired of being alone on a Friday night. Go to badboymembership.com. Now picture this. You'll go from not getting what you want when it comes to you dealing with women to actually getting what you want, to being the guy women want to be with, women want to date, women want to have sex with. All you need to do is go to badboymembership.com, follow the steps, learn the game, implement the game, and then you will get the woman you want. Make sure you go to badboymembership.com today. Click the link below.
Click the link below or go straight to mr.locario.com to get the documentary Game Kings, The Definition of Game.